Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. Um, Man, it's Sunday here. You guys are going to see this on Monday, but we just finished our big premiere of our first year in Mississippi after leaving California, and just finished being in there with all you wonderful folks that joined us for that. Um, Man, it's funny. I worked real hard on that video. As you guys know, I talked to you guys about how kind of nervous I was about getting that video done and sorting through all the clips and all of that. And uh, I'm glad it's done. I hit a lot of obstacles doing that video, but I'm glad it's done. And I know I'm coming. I'm walking over to the animals, and they're Koosie's very vocal. The boy, livestock guardian pup. He'll quiet down after I come outside, even if I go off and do something else. But he's got a loud bark. And Nash hardly ever makes a peep. I think because he's just so loud. She's like, well, he's got it covered. Hey, settle down, bud. We'll come check on these guys. But yesterday, I know. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to be doing later this afternoon after it cools down. It is hot today. We're having quite the heat advisory. Hi, Bubba. I know. Settle down. So, settle down. We're going to walk over there and show you guys. I know. I got to see the goats, too. Got to give Caroline and the kids some love. So, over here, we've got the coop, as you guys may remember, is functional but not finished. So because the birds have been penned up just in the run, and we've had rain and whatever, it's gotten a little bit muddy. We've had a lot of rain the last week or so, in between crazy heat and during crazy heat. But yesterday I was going to spend a little time outside, and I was kind of sitting over here, and I thought, I'm gonna let the birds out. They've been penned up for a long time. They know this is home base. They're pretty good about following me around when I have food. So I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to let them out. So I let them out, and they kind of just free ranged in this area right here for probably about 45 minutes. And then a surprise thunderstorm was coming in, and Mike was in town, and he texted me, and he was like, it is fixing to come a flood. And I was like, and I had heard thunder off in the distance, but it was still kind of sunny like this. And I could see storm clouds, but they were like off towards town, and I couldn't tell which direction the storm was moving just because it wasn't moving super fast. So I went ahead and got these guys all back in here, got them pet. See, they see me come to the door, they all come running over here. But Mike actually mowed a strip over here last night in the dark with his headlights on the Cadet, because what we're gonna do, so that I can let them come out this side here, Mike actually mowed a path around here and down, I don't know if you guys can see, I'll walk over there in a minute, but down around the other side of the coop. And this right here, this other gate here, just like we have on that front side, this is going to be a double gate here as well. For now, this is going to be opened. And we're going to put some of that Premier One fencing, electric fencing, around this area so they can start having access to all of this wonderful pasture. Because when you have this much pasture, why would you not want your animals to be able to access it and eat it and enjoy it, instead of just having them rely on, your garden cuttings and whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that. They love the garden cuttings, and they're wonderful for them and the goats. But giving them access to this during the day is wonderful. And so having that electric fence up is going to help keep them safe. During portions of the day, I'm going to be working with Nash over here with the birds. She is always watching the birds, and she's real good with them. She doesn't chase them. She hasn't tried to mow them, nothing. That is one of the reasons why I did move Rico, my rooster, in with the goats and them, because that way they're used to a bird. That bird is a strong bird, so has kind of taught them like the pecking order, so to speak, so that they know not to cross those lines. And of course, I stayed around, in the beginning, and then when I take them in here, it's been too muddy to bring them in here most days, as of late with the rain, unfortunately. But with the when I was taking them in here, they both did really well, but Nash just seems to have, the girl just seems to have a better, she just seems to be a better fit for being with the birds, a better temperament for it, I guess I would say. And he is better with the goats, and I think the sheep eventually. So they won't be far from each other, like the sheep pasture that's going to be, here, and the goats will be there. And it's, they're just having the dog that close also helps deter a lot of things that might come around. That's, again, one of the reasons why I like to have a few geese and black chickens in my flock, because it helps deter aerial predators. The geese will alert. If you notice, a lot of times if they see something, they kind of will walk around like this with their eyes up, because they're watching for those things and they alert. I know sometimes, now granted, because they face this way, they don't see, like, if a car pulls up, but if they hear it, they do alert. So they're kind of like my little watchdogs. And my peafowl used to be the same way. They would be able to kind of let us know when somebody pulled up, because of the way that property was designed at our old place in California. The side gate was where you could see the cars pull up from first, and that's right near where the pen was. So they always knew when there was somebody approaching, and they would start alerting, which is handy to have. It's kind of a good deterrent system. It's a good alert for you to kind of pay attention, to know, like, go check out whatever's going on, and just kind of a good extra system to have. So I think, yes, I hear you, Koosie. I hear you. I'm gonna come sit over here with you for a bit. I know. Hey. He's definitely much more of an attention seeker than she is, which we've been working on. Hey, thank you. So settle down. I haven't been home and in and out all day because we were at church and everything. So they're a little bit, and we didn't get to really work together this morning because of church. So they didn't get their normal day. Sundays are always a little bit off because the schedule is just different. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But we really, animals thrive on schedule. Those of you that have even just a dog or a cat or something in your house, they get used to their routine, they get used to their schedule, and when you deviate, they don't like it. Even if, like now, my dogs, my inside dogs, they know that Sundays are different. They know that's the day that this happens, and they kind of get to know your schedule over the course. Did you get your head stuck again? Don't do that. Yes, I know. Hey, settle down. They're so dang cute though, but they're pretty good. And it's funny because Bunko, as much as he loves Lundy and Skylar, our indoor dogs, he's still super leery of the goats. He won't come over here when I'm over here, which is so not like him, because if he would come and help me feed the birds and whatever, he's not a fan of the goats. As far as I know, he has not been in that goat pen, near that goat pen, nothing. It's actually, this is as close as he'll get when I'm over there with the goats and the dogs. He doesn't mind the puppies. The puppies have been out with me here when I've been moving them around, and he doesn't seem to mind that. In fact, I need to move them back in their pen because it's almost dinner time, so that they can eat. I do need to come up with a solve, and I've seen a few on different YouTube channels and online, of having your pastured dogs having access to food to where the goats and things can't get to it. I do have them with one of these big galvanized feeders, the free feeders right in there. But the goats could easily access that. And I've seen these little kind of contraptions that you kind of build that are pretty simply made, that the goats can't get into it, but the dogs can. You don't have to worry about the goats getting into your dog food and then subsequently getting bloat. And we all know what bloat often means when you get that in a goat. Unless you catch it right away, you're not saving that goat. Chances are you're not saving that goat, even if you do catch it right away. I did have a goat get bloat on me once. I did manage to save him, but it's just one of those things. You just literally, that's the plans for the next 24 hours. You are just rubbing on that goat and pushing on it as hard as you can, and doing a drench, and you're just, you're staying in the goat pen until the crisis has passed, and that's what we did, or that's what I did. But so yeah, to avoid that, obviously would be the ideal the ideal goal is to definitely avoid anybody having access to the dog food that isn't a dog. I'm not as worried about the birds figuring out how to get in there. They're going to have access to so much pasture. I don't see them really. I can see the ducks maybe trying to, because the ducks are cheeky like that. But again, I think the amount of force that they'd have to use to get in there, I'm going to have to monitor it. If I put it up high enough, like maybe on the coop where the dogs can walk up, because it's got little drill things on the back. If I mount it on the coop, I could get it to where the dogs could walk up, push it, and eat it, but the ducks couldn't like hover in front of it and eat it. You know what I mean? So I may do something like that with the birds for Nash. But with the goats, are going to be about as tall as the dog when it's all said and done. So I think I'm going to have to talk to Mike about building this contraption that I saw. I wish I knew how to describe it. We all know that's my issue. I can picture it, can't describe it. Seen it online. It's like this Xbox thing that the goats can't get through. It's like I can't. I need both hands to talk, and I'm holding the selfie stick. This is a problem. It's a problem. Excuse me. But it's like a X, right? And then there's like a box, and it's got, so the dog can get through it, but it's built in such a way that the goats won't or can't bend that way. Although I've seen goats get in some pretty funky positions when need be. So I don't know. But I do need to come up with a solve for that. I mean, if it's not the end of the world. If it means that I got to pull Kusi out and feed him in the morning and feed him in the night while I'm doing my morning and evening chores, not the end of the world. I can make that work. But I've never had dogs that have eaten at certain times. All of my dogs have always been grazers. I know some people can put a bowl of food down for their dogs and they'll wolf it down. I've never had an animal that has been like that. Every animal I've ever had has been like, nibble, nibble. They'll eat like maybe the majority of it at a certain time of day, but they're not consistent with it. And that's fine. Like, I'm the same way. It's like, well, sometimes I want to eat at this time. Sometimes some days I'm hungry at this time because I played more or I did whatever more, So we'll figure it out. But I mean, he'll get on a schedule at least. If I have to pull it and do it that way, he'll learn like, oh, if I don't eat now, I won't eat. So, and I've had a few people requesting videos on goat milking, and while Caroline's still in milk, I was going to film that tonight, but I think it's going to have to wait until Tuesday evening. I have bunko tomorrow night with the ladies. It's our first bunko back after summer break. So I won't be able to film it tomorrow evening or tonight as you guys are seeing this. So I'll probably do it Tuesday evening when I can film it. Her milk supply, I've been working with her. It's starting to dry up. I did get a bunch the other day from her, and I did make some cheese, which I know I had some people asking about videos for that too. I have done videos on that in the past, last time she was in milk when we were in California. But this last batch, I wanted to do a batch before I tried to show you guys a video on it, because it's been a minute since I made it, and you got to kind of get those like remember how to do it things back, and I wasn't happy with this batch. So it would not have been a video that I would have wanted to share with you guys. I wasn't happy with the end results of the cheese. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near the quality that I have made before. So that being said, we'll see how much milk, as I'm kind of weaning her out of milk. We'll see how much milk, still trying to put some weight back on her. We'll see how much milk she actually gives me this week to work with. We may end up just doing an ice cream video on how to make what is a big bee right there? Oh my word, that's not a bee. What is that? Oh my goodness. Oh, it's just a big green beetle. That's just one of those big green beetles. I don't even know if I've got the camera aimed at the right spot there. But look at that face. Nash, are you a good girl? She's so stinking cute. Anyway, so I don't know. We'll have to see how much milk I end up with out of her, because you need really to do one small batch of cheese. You need a half a gallon to do it proper. Just because, you know, when you're making milk, you're separating the curd from the whey, and you need a certain amount of it to get enough curds to make it a thing. I know, he's so mad at me right now. Anyway, guys, I gotta do a couple things inside and get ready for evening festivities at the church before I gotta come back and work on that fence after it cools down. It is warm out today. No joke, kids. It's warm. But whew, I'm glad I got the premiere done with. I'm glad that year-long video is finished. I'm happy about that. And I appreciate all you guys that were there for the premiere. And if you haven't gone and watched that video, our 1 year of surviving, leaving California and thriving in Mississippi, make sure you go check that out, because it was a labor of love for sure. So anyway, guys, appreciate you guys, and as always, stay blessed and safety's off.